There we go. You'll see the message up on the screen that the recording has started there. There's a couple more people logging in right there. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Obviously, the quicker we get started, the faster we can finish. Now, just like yesterday, if you have any questions, please feel free to unmute your mics. I will be asking questions, kind of make sure that everybody's doing okay as we go along. Look for those emojis. That way I know that you are there. And that way I can make sure that everybody's following in case there is some confusion. I want to make sure that you are with it. That way, when it comes to the time where you have to answer those questions for that attendance, you know what is going on. You know where everything is at. Everybody good with that? Yes, yes. Looking for those emojis. Make sure everybody is there. All right, Ashlyn's good. Matthew's good. All right, so we are rolling here. Bringing up the second monitor here. There we go. These facial recognition things, I love it. With Halloween, I had to go to an event, and of course, you have to make sure facial recognition doesn't always work when you're doing stuff like that. So make sure you have secondary ways of getting onto things like that. So that was something that was rather funny that that did not work. Didn't even think about that. All right, so we are going to get rolling here and away we go. We're going to start off with the screen share here and let's get to this. And I'm going to make my screen look like yours. And we're going to expand this out. Okay. So yesterday I went through the week 3 modules a little bit. We got a little bit more here just to take a glance at with Thursday. Okay, of course you got your participation thing. And we're going to talk about that career plan. Now, how many people did well on part 1 of the career plan? You put some effort into that. You did that career plan. Anybody remember that going way back at the beginning? How many remember that? All right, because you're going to go back to that. So there's a reason when you're doing these things, don't do them and toss them away because you're going to go back. Okay, so there is in your textbook because everybody has been accessing that online textbook. I know how that works. A lot of people haven't even opened that online textbook. Okay, so there is a figure in there in that textbook. And so that you can use and about brainstorming those short-term goals. Okay, so these short-term goals, these are ones that you're going to be doing in the immediate future, something a little bit closer to home. Back, a way back, when you were working on step 1, you did those long-term goals. Remember that you set those goals way out. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go back to those goals and you're going to put in short-term goals that will get you there. Okay. Anybody remember their long-term goals? Anybody out there remember what they put down for those long-term goals? All right. So it seems kind of backwards. You would think that you would put the short-term goals and then you would see those long-term, but you do it this way. You set your sights on that distance. Now, how am I going to get there? And if you think about when you go on a trip, that's the way you do it. This is where I'm going. Then you lay down that path, or you use, of course, Google Maps, Waze, etc. And it shows you these are the ways to get there. It's the same thing. Now, is there anybody out there who goes, I don't like to plan? It's a legitimate thing. There are people go, I don't like to put plans out there. I just like to go with the flow. Because if you do, that's a type of planning too. Not planning is planning. But there's a reason why we do these long-term goals, and this is not just preachy. People who do those long-term goals, the percentage of success is so tremendously more. Okay. And these long-term goals give you a way to get there. And some of them can be, I'd like to buy a house. I'd like to get a car. New, used, it doesn't matter. I want to graduate from Southern Tech. Now let's look at that one. I want to graduate from Southern Tech. Okay, how do you graduate from Southern Tech? Okay, short-term goals. I show up for class. I complete assignments on time. I do assignments to completion, meaning you follow the instructions, you do this. So the short-term goals can be as specific as that. They get you to where you need to be. I need to have more quality time to myself. Okay, how do you do that? Okay, I tell people no. It's okay to tell people no. You can say, I can't do that for you. Okay, how many people work with someone who dumps all their work on them? Anybody work with one of these people? You do your work and then somebody comes along and dumps all their work on you and expects you to do it to them, do all their work for you. You're going to encounter these people, or they hand you something and now you're stuck with it. Anybody ever work with these people, or am I the only one? Because I seen it when I worked at Denny's. I seen it when I worked at Walmart. Yeah, you get dumped on. So when somebody comes up and says, take a look at this. Now I learned this from a lady who was one of the first women who went to work at AT&T in their computer department. One of the first women they allowed, because remember, they didn't allow women to work in certain fields. And this was in the late 70s. She was one of the first women they allowed to work in this field. So this doesn't go that far back. So I want you to think about that. Also, she taught me, take your hands, right? When someone comes up to hand you something, take those hands and put them behind your back. Let them hold it and you look. Okay, and you look. You can look with your eyes. Don't take it in your hands, because as soon as it falls into your hands, it's your responsibility. Look and go, that's very interesting. Don't let it leave their hands, because as soon as you do, it's now your responsibility and you have to complete it. The other tip I want to give you is when somebody says, can you do this? Say, I can do that, but I need you to do this for me. Did you see that? I will do this for you, but you do this for me. They give you work, you give them work back. It stops that immediately. The person who gives their work away, they don't like that. You're giving me work back. I came in here to get rid of all my work so I don't have to do work. Now you're giving me work back. I'm going to go find someone else. Okay, things like this is experience, because people who tend to do this, they're going to keep you from reaching your goals. Okay, so when you do these goals, list your long-term goals out and then think about how you will get there. And that's how you put in your short-term goals. Okay, everybody got that? Everybody understand how you're going to put in those short-term goals. Think about that long-term and then list the short terms underneath. Okay, now right here, you have a sheet you need to use. Click on this and you will see it. Use this sheet. Okay, you will have a part 3 to this project at the end. And this part 3, if you do part 1 well and you do part 2 well, when you come to part 3 next week, you're going to be doing a lot of copying and pasting, and most of your final project will be done. You got that? Everybody got that? You complete part 1 and 2. Well, your final project will be very simple. The more work you put in now, the easier it will be next week. All right. Don't put in the work now. Your final week is going to be a little bit rougher. Okay. Then you have one more assignment, your professional network. It's got 2 parts. Okay. First of all, why is that professional network so important? And why is everyone trying to make sure theirs grows? Why do you need the support of other professionals? You'll hear people say the biggest lie in the world. I did everything on my own. I made it on my own. How many people have heard this lie? I did it all myself. I made it all on my own. How many people have heard that lie? You hear it all the time. No one makes it on their own. Everyone has had support and help along the way. You've had teachers, you've had instructors, you've had co-workers. You did not come up with all this knowledge on your own. You did not come up with all the training on your own. You did not place yourself in your own job the entire way and own the business the entire way. You have had help. Give everyone credit. Push other people along with you, help each other, and you will go further. Professional networking is the way to go. People who are not networking, if you don't network, you are not working. People who refuse to network will find themselves isolated and their careers tend to fizzle. Okay, so your second portion, read this article and then discuss 3 techniques you would use. Remember, your career is your career. This class gives you so much advice, but you will still have to make decisions on your own and go on your own and decide what to use. So think about what is discussed in here and which ones you will use. So you'll click on this, it'll take you to the article, read this, decide which 3 you might use and put that in your assignment as well. All right, everybody good? Yes? All right, so let's move on to the all important part, and we will start the lecture. Get my trusty pen out here. We will choose this color today. And there we go. All right. So we're going to talk about applications. And we're going to explain how to complete a job application, which I know everyone's going, oh, I know how to do that. We're going to talk about applying for a job in person, one online, and methods for managing the application process. And we're going to talk about a spreadsheet, a great way to manage it, because managing how you're doing it is important. So let's look at this that's coming up here. 60% of your jobs are found through networking. 75% of the resumes are rejected before they reach the hiring manager. 77% of the recruiters rely on LinkedIn. What? And you thought that assignment was a bunch of bull. Okay? Think about that. Look how many people are looking at those LinkedIn things. Even if they take your application in person, they're going to go check to see if you have a LinkedIn application. our profile out there. As a matter of fact, they are going to search for your social media in general. They're going to check to see if you're on Facebook, if you're on any other social media. Um, if they're going to look for you on X, they're going to look at you on Instagram. They're going to be nosy. And if you're not on any of them, that's going to send up a red flag too, because then you're not relevant. And if you're not relevant or current, they're going to kick you out as well. So you can't not be out there. Not being out there is just as bad as having bad things out there. So when you're doing that LinkedIn assignment, think about this right here. Okay. Think about that. Okay. 54% of employers have rejected candidates based on social media profiles. Boom. Okay. Professionally written resume boosts your earning potential by 7%. What that means is 7% raise, okay? Earning potential, more money. So the better your resume, your income can go up by 7%. How many people would like their income right now to go up by 7%? Just doing the same job you're doing now. If I walked in and said, would you like 7% more or not? How many people would like their checks to go up 7% doing the same job you're doing right now? Yeah, everybody would. So just by having your resume well written, your income will go up. Remember, it's not one price once you get into your career. Everybody doesn't earn the same amount. And if you're talking to a coworker and they're earning more money than you for doing the same job, that is on you. That is your fault. You didn't negotiate a better price. Okay. The error of, oh, that they did me wrong, they did this, that. No, it is on you. This is ownership time. You are in charge of your career now. Okay. 5 applicants out of 250. So every 250 people, 5 people approximately will get the interview. What are you doing to stand out? If you're paying attention in this class, you are getting the keys to open that door up. This same class, people pay thousands and thousands more outside of Southern Tech to go sit in a 1 day seminar in a hotel to try to get even a fraction of this information. That's what you see all these advertisements for. Learn how to get a job, learn to. This is what they're doing. They're taking classes very similar to this. Okay. Just like you, people want a new job. How many people need a better job to make it easier to survive? Rent's outrageous, groceries are outrageous, gas prices are starting to come down. It costs too much. We are working multiple jobs, etc. We need new jobs. We need better jobs. Okay. This. How many people knew it took this long to get a job? How many people didn't know it takes this long? 5 months. We are such an instant society. We're used to having something right now. You put in that application, it could be weeks before somebody picks it up, weeks to get an interview, weeks for them to get it approved and you to get hired. Start networking now. Start reaching out, start going places. Okay, so an application, we know about this. It's got your personal information, addresses, references, contact employers. If something doesn't pertain to you or apply, always use NA. Don't use the where you leave a blank. This lets them know that you read it and it doesn't apply. Okay. There's going to be demographics, asking questions about you. Make sure you proofread and compare it to what's on your resume. Your resume should be the truth. Don't lie on your resume. People will tell you, oh, stretch it out, do this. No, that resume is you. If you start with a lie and they expect that out of you, you're in trouble. Okay, always be honest at work. I tell people I'm as honest as I am ugly. Okay, what you see is what you get. You may not like it, but it's the truth. Okay, so if you're putting things up on a website, make sure that you do it as plain text. Okay, that will transfer best onto a website. If you're sending it to somebody, you send it as a PDF. This keeps your formatting and keeps them from changing it. Remember, somebody that you send it to, it may go to somebody like a secretary, it may go to somebody else other than the person doing the actual hiring. And if you send it as a regular Word doc, it can be changed, and you don't want anybody changing your information. Okay? So, a job search website, multiple employers can post and search for you. Okay? A job board are websites which the employers list their job openings directly. Okay? So, those are a little bit different. Okay? So, a job search website, multiple employers. A job board is for one. Okay? Job aggregators are search websites that collect data from multiple online sources. So it could be a job board or another job search website. When you see stuff like this in a lecture, these are things that are going to be on your final exam. Those words are definitely going to be there. Okay, read the postings carefully. Required versus desired. Required, you have to have it. Desired, you may or may not have it. And this is what gives you what we call a benchmark. Okay, when you're reading something and it says you are required to have it, if you don't have it, just skip on by. If it says desired, if you have everything that's up above on the required, apply. Desired, if you've got it, move things around on your resume to match what they are asking for. All right. Make sure you understand what they are saying versus what they are asking for. Each post and application should be the same. Don't give preference over one over the other. Make sure that you read everything carefully. Some places that you want to work, they may have multiple locations. Make sure where you're applying is actually the one you want to work at. You may be turning in your application at the one that you think you want to work at, but they may be hiring in a different location. During the interview, if they have more than one location, verify, is this the location I would be working at, or would I be expected to transfer back and forth? If you don't have transportation to transfer back and forth, that could be an issue. Don't get caught in that situation if you don't have transportation. Make sure you proofread, because once you submit it, you can't take it back. Okay? When you're out there searching, know the titles that you're looking for. How many people know all the different ways your positions that you qualify can be described? Has everybody looked at the way your job positions that you qualify can be described? Like a vet assistant, some people will say they're a vet assistant, they're a vet subordinate, they're vet this, they're vet that. They might have different ways of contacting or listing them. Uh, so go through and look and see the different titles that might be used to describe you. Also, location. Everybody looks at the money when they're applying. That is not always the best thing. You want to start looking at, okay, this one might pay more, but by time I drive and the time it takes for me to get there, the oil, the gas, the wear and tear on my car, I'm going to lose money. I'd be better off to take the closer or the further location or the closer location, da da da. Learn how to evaluate what your best options are. Okay. Try to find a name and an email of the person if possible and research them. Okay. How do you know if a company is legit? Check their websites out. Look for misspellings on that website. Make sure they have a physical address. Google that address. See what's in the picture. If it's an empty field, probably not a legitimate company. Orlando and Tampa has a big problem with hiring labor. They hire them, you put in 2 weeks worth of work, you go to get paid, and guess what? No paychecks. You're not going to get paid. You've been scammed. Research them, okay? And follow the instructions. They may tell you to fill out our application and bring that and your resume on a particular day for an in-person interview. Make sure you read what they are asking for, okay? Some places want you to come to them, okay? In this example, they say retail businesses. Some companies will list, we do open interviews on this day, this day, and this day. Go there and be prepared. Be prepared with pens, etc., to fill out forms, and that so you can apply in person. Some will let you take applications home, some will not, some are strictly online. Make sure your resume and a cover letter are with you. Always have multiples of each. You don't know how many people you're going to see, okay? And have your references separate. If you're going to put any papers together, do not staple them. You put a paper clip in the upper left-hand corner. All right. That question is usually also on the final exam. How do you put them together? Okay, you can put them in a folder together with a single paper clip. Okay, call and follow up 1 week after applying if you have not done so and you have not heard from them. Okay, so at the latest 1 week. So, how many people are bad with their time management skills? You don't know how you make it through the day. Your time management is horrible. Anybody have that? If you do, start practicing. Look for things to set timers on your phones, calendars, write notes. Everybody has different things that work for them. You're going to have to find the one that works for you. Keeping a list might work for you, whereas others need those phone apps to help them out. Maintaining up-to-date employment documents. This includes your resume. If you get hired, go in, update that resume, just in case you should need it. A week after you get hired, if something incredible comes along, you want to have that resume ready to go to hand it to them. How many people think you need to give a 2 weeks notice if you're going to switch jobs? How many people think that? Anybody? You do not. Okay, That is a courtesy. They will tell you you have to, you do not. Companies are not loyal to you, okay? You do not have to be any more loyal to them. We are in a right to work state. They do not have to give you a reason. They can just up to you and say, you're no longer employed. They don't have to tell you why. You are in a Florida's right to work state. Okay. Now, how many people had to sign handbooks and things like that when you got a job? Anybody have to do that? They give you a little handbook, and you sign for it, and you never read it. Anybody have to do those at your job? Or you have to read a handbook online, but you typically have to sign some sort of thing when you get hired. Anybody have to do those? Because you will when you get hired in some places. Those are a lifesaver because that is a contract that they have to follow. And inside that little handbook will be a thing for discipline, including what it takes for them to fire you. And if that firing says that you have to have 3 written warnings or write-ups, that means that employer cannot just walk up and say, you're fired. That overrides that right to work uh, clause there where they can just do that, where they can come up to you and just say, you're fired, we don't need you without reason. That handbook, that contract that they signed along with you states that they have to give you a reason and they have to write you up. You have to acknowledge it and sign those write-ups. So check those handbooks because every company is different and see what their policy for writing people up and letting people go. They have to follow that regardless of what the state law is. They can be tighter on restrictions, but they cannot be looser. So that's how that works. So that is actually a good thing for you. Update your professional network. Let them know, hey, I got a job. Okay, let them know. Set up job alerts. If you're waiting to hear back, set up an alarm so that in a week from now, you know to touch base with them. And any apps that the company may want you to have, make sure you download that. Okay. This is one of the hardest things. You apply and you hear nothing. Okay. This is not like a prom date where you sit there and you wait and you wait and you wait by the phone. You apply, you move on. You interview, you move on. You don't wait for them. You keep going. As soon as you apply again and you apply again and you keep going until someone offers you a job. You never stop. You don't need to wait for them. You just keep going. Okay. You cannot necessarily tell if they've read your resume or cover letter, so you keep going. Okay. This is what you need to see. For every 15 to 20 applications, you might get a response. Not necessarily an interview, but a response, good or bad. Okay. Again, just keep moving on. Again, today, Amy wants to know, Dr. Parker wants to know, 2 things for today that you learned. All right. So 2 more things that you learned today. Time managing, we talked a little bit about it. Start managing your time. Start practicing. Create a schedule with an end goal of when you need this new job. And use a calendar or software and set notifications to remind you of things you need to do. Or write it down, use post-it notes, anything. Start managing your time. A good schedule is what you're looking for, and a good schedule will allow you to be spontaneous. Set aside time each day so that you have flexibility. This way, if something comes up, you have that spare time every day. And you can say, I have no time. Write down everything you need to do during the day. And when you see it laid out, you'll see, oh, I have to do this and this. I can do those at the same time. But if you don't have a plan, you're going to be doing it one thing, then one thing, and one thing. And that's going to take infinitely longer. By putting everything down, you'll have an easier time of it. Now, this is something, if you're familiar with Excel, that works out really well. Keep track of every place you're applying. If you don't know Excel, draw this out on a sheet of paper. This is the title. This is where I applied. This is the company address. This is a website if I've got it. This is who I contacted, their title, their phone number, their email, their position, and include when you need to contact them back. Reach out to them. This is so and so. We interviewed on such or such date. I want to know if you had, a status. Did you fill the position? If not, when do you expect? Blah, blah, blah. Keep track. Don't try to go off of memory. Our memories sometimes fade. And last but not least, be positive. I want you to realize you walk through Southern Tech's door wanting to change, wanting something different, wanting to grow in some way, shape, or form, and you've done it. Okay, so stay positive. You're good. You have made tremendous advancements, and the right place is out there for you. And if you don't get something, that means there is something better out there. Concentrate on your qualities, the ones that you have that nobody else has. Everybody's going to have the basic skills in welding, in electrical, in HVAC, but what makes you unique? Focus on those when you go into that interview. What is it that sets me above and unique from the others? Maintain those positive thoughts because those thoughts are what drives you. Okay. You have to get through the tough things no matter what. A positive attitude gives you a fighting chance. If you go into it with a negative attitude, you've already lost. Nothing you can do about it. You've lost. Stay positive and change that negative self-talk into positive. Well, I doubt that I'll get this position, but I'm going to apply anyway. No, I'm going to apply. I will get this position or another position will open up that's even better. That's positive self-talk. Boost yourself and get what you want. You can do that. Now, again, that is a lot of stuff to throw at you because remember, when you're doing this stuff, a lot of this you're going to be doing naturally as you're just going about your business. When you're doing that schedule of things you're doing, these are things you're doing anyway. You're just putting it to paper or putting it in Excel, and you're taking that burden off of your memory. So some of these things will really help boost you. Are there any questions? Everybody's good? Yes, yes. See those emojis. All right. Everybody looks like they're going good. Matthew, Arden, Michelle. All right. Okay. So that is it. This is the last lesson for this week. Next week starts your final week, so this is the perfect time to get caught up. If you are missing assignments, you are late on assignments, whatever, catch everything up this week. Next week is a short week. Everything ends on Thursday and has to be in by 10 p.m. Okay, you heard that right. 10 p.m. on Thursday is when this class completely wraps up. Have in everything that you need that you want on that final grade. All right, so catch everything up, finish big, finish awesome, and we will see you next week. Dr. Parker will be doing her stuff. I'll be finishing out the week for you next week. And I hope you have an incredible day and incredible weekend. If you have questions, just email or and let Dr. Parker and I know. All right.
What's the question for the day?
The question again, were you not listening? Did you step away?
Didn't hear it.
Okay. Once again, it was on the slide there that I pulled up. List two things that you learned today during the lecture.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And y'all have a great one, and we will see you online.